Well, right now what's going on is we're in the midst of a major transformation in our government. Once again, and this time clearly it is going to be and has been a peaceful transition of power. But what we're looking at is the exit of Joe Biden and his, legacy and points when we ask about whether he's going to be seen as the best or worst president. I mean, it's pretty negative on Joe Biden at this point, and he exits with an approval rating of 42%. Then the curtain raises, and in comes a return of Donald Trump. Our latest Marist poll has him a favorable rating of 44%. Nothing to write home about. This is not looking like any extensive honeymoon period. And when we ask about 4 years ago at this time, 27% had a positive view of his historical place in history, and 60% did not. Of course, 4 years ago, we were not in the midst of a peaceful transfer of power. Okay, so what's going on now? The Republicans have Donald Trump re entering the White House. They have slim and potentially workable majorities in both the Senate and House. But it doesn't look like it's going to be exceptionally smooth sailing in the court of public opinion on the pillar parts of the Trump agenda. So we asked about pardoning of convicted criminals from January of 4 years ago, and 62% are not liking that idea. And certainly we heard from about to be Vice President Vance on that topic, and he once suggested a more limited use of the pardon. A sense of tariffs hurting the economy, and there are a plurality of Americans think that that's a likely path, and so that is a question sign for President Trump going forward, and even on the idea of mass deportation of illegal immigrants. That's a divide, 49-49 in our numbers. So the agenda that Trump is put forward and the mandate he claims to have is going to be put through with a Washington government that is just barely Republican, but yet they have the trifecta and all three groups. And then on the question of public opinion, the things he's putting forth that may not have overwhelming popularity. And I think to some degree, he's already trying to reset some of the expectations and talked about inflation. Well, food prices are hard to bring down. And as I mentioned, Vance has said, well, pardoning maybe not so extensive. And Musk has said, well, the $2 trillion in cutbacks, that may not be reachable either. So we're having a slight redo at a time where Donald Trump needs to get some running room as a result of the inauguration and the return to power. And we'll see if he's able to pull some of that off.